now?
Yeah.
Tonight on the Kmac Attack, Millikan alum, lead singer, and rhythm guitarist of Zorilla, Stu Art. Yo, what up, dudes?
Is that it?
Are we broadcasting?
Yeah, we broadcast.
All right, good. I don't want to go 10 minutes in. Oops.
Oh, way to go.
Sorry, I'll get that back up. All right. I was like, yeah, I'll stop sharing. Yeah, because I know we've been in like 10 minutes before, and then it's like, oh, hey, you figured that out though?
Figure out what?
Everything that went wrong with
We've
this
never had
broadcast.
any issues. What are you talking about?
You're right. This is our first show. Well, Wednesday night here. Good to see you guys. Nick, what are you having to eat?
Got that Bona Beast. It's a chicken avocado jack. There's like a French fried onions in it. Perfecto, pepper jack.
Is that from Mariano's?
Yeah,
Bona beef, you said?
Yeah, Bona beef. Ben's doing the recipe later in the show.
I don't even know
tuned.
what you're talking about.
Didn't we do that last time?
Stay tuned.
What was the one you did last time, Ben?
I think I did. I think I did Kraft macaroni and cheese.
No, shut up.
I think I did a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay, dude, you look extra artificial today with that background. It's
Okay.
unusual. It's unusually cropped today.
Yeah, what movie are you watching, dude?
Yeah, what movie is it back there?
We're watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Nice, dude.
I am. I'm at the drive-in right now watching.
I'm sure they appreciate you broadcasting.
Well, I'm in my car, so you know. It's
Oh, okay.
Facing away from the movie, so you know,
Makes sense.
making sure
Yeah,
we get to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
They just paused it.
It's
'cause
frozen right now.
They paused it just for the show.
Yeah. They're like, wait, Ben's got to do a show, so hold on, everybody.
Well, I'm excited to have Stu Arp on. If you listen to that sick intro that I put together, that's from some of his
Sick
music
intro,
with
bro.
Zorilla. Oh, absolutely. And we're going to get to talk to him. Haven't gotten to speak to him in a long time, but I'm really interested to see what he has to say about what it's like recording and how it's going with the band and things like that, and just life in general. Haven't really seen him probably since like homecoming of, I don't know, when we graduated maybe, but I mean, he's been in Champaign. Have you seen him at all, Ben, or is it just like I know he's here kind of thing?
We've run into each other a couple times when he lived in Champaign still. We like grabbed a beer at my house once, and I would run into him at shows all the time. We like doing sound. He'd be just there hanging out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my old entertainment days.
For sure. Cool beans. Yeah, so we're gonna get to talk to him. We got a little game for him. Gonna be exciting stuff.
Ooh.
I did buy. I'm trying to get more fit because I noticed like I'm getting kind of a gut, and I always thought in life I'm just one of those people where I don't really gain weight. I even went to see a doctor like 2 years ago probably, and I was like, how do I gain weight? And he's like, I've never had anyone come in here and ask that question. It's always the opposite. But I've always felt just like I eat things and I just am always I feel like I'm below weight. I can't really gain any muscle. So I mean, most of it was like, you know, figure out your diet and go from there. And I really haven't done much with that. But I did
Sounds
buy
like you figured out your diet.
Yeah, I did make some chicken tonight. I felt pretty proud. I'm on my way to Ben's recipes. But I did buy one of those like, it's called, it's just like a push-up bar. I have the directions for it here.
So
because,
the ground?
Yeah,
Do you
I
not
bought the ground. No, it's one of these things.
You say you got. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. You said you got a push-up bra.
bar?
Shut up.
Sorry, Ben.
So it's
That was a good one.
I'm reading it, and like the first half of the page is just how you can set it up, but then it goes into steps to be successful in your exercises, and there are a ridiculous amount of typos, and I don't know exactly where this thing is from, but there's one that says do the exercises slow. This is how it's spelled. Do the exercises slow T and in a controlled, smooth, and fluid manner. Steady effort, spelled EFFERT, will build, BULLD. And it's just like all over the place. And I don't know who wrote it or
Sounds like something I would write.
yeah, exactly. It's like this is did he send this with the coffee or
When we were in Louisville last week, they had at the Airbnb there were like some of like the whatever these whiskey glasses, but they had like just the most generic like brand names. It was like craft bourbon. This is like special brand. I don't know. It was the most generic thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh my god, they freaking bought this. I've bought several things on Amazon with just generic branding on it. And it's like boutique brand, and you're like, okay, what is it?
yeah, can you be more specific? But I mean, it works pretty well. I'm just trying to do something, get that summer bod. You know, you guys, Nick, you're I know you're watching your calorie intake every night. How's that going?
Oh, that's great. That's why I have Chex Mix right now and a sandwich. Perfect 2,000 calorie dinner.
How often are you actually like? How diligent? How routine do you have everything planned out? Where you're like, okay, I ate this today, so I can only have this much.
I used to do better back when I was in grad school and I would go to the gym every day. I was doing better. But since COVID hit, it's kind of like I don't want to be depressed and eating a salad. I'd rather be depressed and eating a sandwich. So I kind of went with the latter. So
I see. I mean, have you noticed you benefiting from that?
have I noticed myself benefiting from eating excess? I wouldn't call it a benefit, but I've noticed a change. I mean, one of these days I'm going to lose this COVID-19 I've put on. So.
Oh, I see. Have you put on a lot, do you think?
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I get it. You don't know how to gain weight. Let's make fun of the fat kids. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. So how much have you eaten today?
Oh my gosh.
How much do you weigh?
How many points do you have?
I weigh 12 stone.
Yeah, how is what's that freaking game you play? Civilization.
Oh my god.
Have they added Portugal? Is that what you said that was added?
But only with the Frontier Pass.
You
have to have the Frontier Pass.
So much Portugal has been added, dude. I'm just like, I'm gaining gold as much as I'm gaining weight. It's just fantastic. You know, if it was a 1-to-1 ratio, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Ben, how are you doing? How's your weight, man?
I'm okay. Am I on mute? No, I'm not. Okay. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about?
How do you get that bod, man? I mean, everyone's dying to know.
Oh, jeez. If I had $1 for every time I asked that question, I'd have $1.
This is a great topic, Kmac.
Man,
I'm not a good improviser.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are. I think that's something we can all work on. Oh man! Other than that, I got my.
You're not gonna ask me about my weight, Kmac? Come on, wow.
Yeah,
I feel left
one
out.
guy who's
Honestly,
actually
someone that's actually exercising
to lose weight. You just skip over him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you would probably know the best, Kyle.
Yeesh.
Well, are you still biking more now that the weather's getting nice?
Yeah, a little bit. When I can. I was gonna go today, but it rained.
Oh, really?
My weight is nice and steady.
What do you weigh? Tell me.
What do I weigh?
Come on.
You really want to know?
What'd you eat today?
What do you eat today?
7 bar.
Everything
7
you
bar.
ate today.
Everything
Who'd
I
you
ate
Walk
today.
us through.
Who'd you vote for?
Who did I vote for?
What's the
Stein.
capital of Mississippi?
No idea.
Ooh, that's a good question.
What's the capital of North Dakota?
Fargo.
It's named after a
TV show.
Bismarck.
Fargo.
No, it's named after a German leader. Yes, you got
Hitler.
it right.
Hitler.
Hitler, North Dakota.
Okay.
I should look into that. I did get my second shot, on Monday, and unlike you guys,
Okay,
I mean,
boring. Back to
I-
KJ.
okay,
Kmac-
KJ, go on.
Kmac's vaccinated. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
I don't know,
only-
dude. I got nothing. I've been biking. Yes.
I've got more pressing questions for KJ.
All right.
All right, take the lead.
Shoot.
What time did you wake up this morning?
7:30. Or wait, what's my first alarm or my last alarm?
Which one did you get up to?
6:55 was my first
It wasn't.
alarm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your
gosh.
first. What's your second?
My second is 7:15, or maybe
Wow.
it's 7:10
When
or
do you have
7:05.
to?
I don't know. I think I have 4. I don't know.
When do
Wait,
you
how many
report-
alarms does everybody set? I set 3,
I have 4.
but then I always snooze the last one.
Yeah, I have 4, and then I stay in bed 10 minutes after my last one goes off.
Free, but I typically get up at the first one. My other ones are like backup.
Yeah, no, mine are not. Mine are front
Yeah.
up alarms. Mine are preparing
Mine
me
are
to wake up
supposed
for
to
my
be-
final alarm.
Mine are supposed to be backups, but
I have an alarm to wake up Olivia in case she slept through her alarms.
I rely solely on my biological clock, so I might wake up at
You know
5
what's
in the
crazy?
morning.
You know what's crazy? My dad actually does that. He's never set an alarm before. He just knows what time to get up to.
And he gets a full
your-
night. He's not waking up constantly. He's just like, boom, it's time, like
And
7:30.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
an alien or
It's the weirdest thing, and I'm not joking. He'll get up, like So if he wants to get up at 6, he'll get up at 6. If he wants to get up at 7:30, he'll get up at 7:30. It's just he knows, his body knows what time to get up to, regardless of it.
weird Sanders shit.
Yeah, he'll set in he'll take a nap at work, 10-minute nap every day. Never sets an alarm, always just 10 minutes. It's the weirdest thing. I don't
well,
even know
it's
how
nice to know what our taxpayer dollars are going to.
Yeah, you don't want to.
Judge
You don't want to.
Sanders
Paying
taking
for
a 10-minute nap.
Judge Sanders taking a nap.
Since what full-time job doesn't get a 10-minute break? Come on.
I mean, it's funny you
Amazon.
mentioned. Yeah, you want me to you can pull up a list.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that because I have noticed at times I have woken up without, like, I forgot to set my alarm or something, and I just wake up right on time. I'm like, thank goodness, like either for school or to go to like an appointment or something. But it is so weird just how that works. But because I feel like when I set an alarm, I'm like instinctively waiting for it to go off so I don't sleep as well. But not having one, it's just like there's some kind of freedom there, you know? And the fact that he's never set one, like, basically in his life, that takes like a lot of practice. So
Have you ever naturally woken up like an hour before your alarm?
It's
And
worse
then you're
than
like,
normal.
oh, I've still got an hour that I can sleep in. And then you go back to sleep and you wake up like way more tired.
I never go back to sleep when I wake up before my alarm. I just know that it's coming. So it's like, well, frick, you
I just
know,
never go to sleep.
never eat, never
I
sleep.
wish.
No, I never have control over my sleep. I just kind of go until I'm exhausted, pass out on the floor. Olivia will carry me to bed and then wake up. The same thing tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, you just run yourself completely
like a
dry.
I'm like a Sims character. You know, I just,
Yeah, right.
just go until I pass out.
Right.
Can you
All
take a
right.
break from eating, Nick? Jesus.
Yeah, or me. Yeah, we just
What?
talked about this.
Kyle wanted me to gain weight. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, I didn't. I just asked you how it's going because you're always talking about your calories and, oh, I can have a gin now and okay, that'll work. And
Yeah, I can have a Chex Mix now. That's what my app says I can do. I'm
What app-
sorry.
what's this app
The
that you use?
window of opportunity is this exact hour and 50 minutes.
It's the Chex Mix diet app. I mean, it's all the rage. CMDA.
Is that our sponsor tonight?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, check
This
Smith's
isn't
diet app.
the ad. This isn't the sponsored segment, so don't give it away. We'll come back to that.
I see. All right, thanks, man. Well, good show so far. It's really interesting stuff and learning about our personal lives. I don't really have anything else besides that, but I just really was curious. So we're gonna get Stu in here right now because I think he's gonna make our show way better. So if he could reveal, I just noticed you guys mentioned you said push up bra. I thought you just said bar. I'm like,
Oh, I
that
was
isn't.
talking over Woodard, so you didn't hear it.
Oh yeah, I was like, that's
Yeah, that was
that's
a
not funny.
hilarious joke.
But that was
It
good.
was-
That was good. So
the
thanks, Stu, for
funniest joke of
listening
the
to
night.
that. That's the funniest thing you'll ever say. Stu, welcome to the show, man. How's it going?
How much do you weigh?
How much
Yeah, everyone wants to know how much you weigh.
too much now.
Mm.
Joined a gym though, so I'm working on it. Got that
Yeah,
coin.
you look like a beefy 145. If I was gonna guess.
I don't think I've weighed that. My legs weigh that much, dude.
A beefy 145.
145. Nah, I'm way more than that, man. Yeah.
What's that gym? I there's so many out there. I wouldn't even know where to start. Is it like LA Fitness? Is it Planet? Whatever.
Lifetime
What it's called.
Movie Network.
Say it
Planet-
again, because
Oh, Export Fitness up in Chicago.
Oh, is that on 63rd? Is that the X Fitness on 63rd? 25,
Broadway.
42, Broadway, Maple, Orchard.
Ah,
Nick's taking this over too much. So you're in Chicago right now. When did you move there, Stu? I know. I mean, you were in Champaign after Milliken. We're gonna mute Nick. So when did you move to Chicago?
When did I move? 2019, August of 2019. Yeah. So I've
Okay.
been coming up on 3 years now.
And have you been in the same place since you moved there?
Yeah. The whole band lives together up here. We live in Wrigleyville, pretty close to Wrigley Field, right across from a Dunkin' Donuts. It's pretty tight.
Nice, dude.
It's the preferred location.
That explains the weight gain I've been hearing about.
Yeah, I think we found the culprit. That's awesome. I mean, you're all living together, and I have a lot of questions for you about the band. But I mean, we know you from Milliken. I personally, like, you and I didn't interact a ton. I mean, you were commercial, right, or music business.
I think I was.
Or do you remember?
Oh, I forgot.
I think
That's
I
so
was.
long.
I started music business, and then
I think you started music ed.
No,
No.
Really?
no,
I
we
swear
didn't.
I saw you in
No.
class. Like,
no,
for a
you
day.
started music
It was
ed.
not.
You started music ed.
you were music ed.
All right, never
For
mind.
like
Go
a
on.
day. It was just like a day.
No.
I swear I remember seeing you in class.
No, we did have a lot of classes together though. I was always the hungover kid, and you were always doing good work.
Whatever I was doing. That's one way to put it. Sitting
I
alone
was,
in a
uh,
corner.
Yeah, I was like hungover in the back of the class. I just remember what was his name. He was such a cool teacher.
Ted Hesse?
Ted Hesse, man. He
Shout
was
out.
cool.
Yeah, dude.
He let me screw around and he liked me. And yeah, I liked all the professors at Milliken actually. They were actually all pretty nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you started whatever it was, commercial music business. So what made you, I mean, I don't know if we ever really got the full story about moving to Champaign, and what was the goal when you got there?
Well, I wanted a degree in something that wasn't music. That was my first decision. Second thing was I wanted to be somewhere bigger, with more people and like maybe more opportunities. What was the third reason? Oh yeah, I mean, I think I was just kind of ready for something new, you know. So I made the switch. I feel like the school at Milliken really provided me with a lot of like necessary music skills that kind of like fostered my growth as an artist, but it kind of put me against other people. And I felt like music isn't meant to be like competitive. It's meant to like boost each other up, you know? So I think that like that led to some feelings of being inadequate or maybe. So I just kind of decided I wanted to Also, like, I want to spend time like writing music, not singing German like arias. So I bounced, and yeah, I still missed the hell out of it. It was a good time. I had a really good time there.
Yeah, it's interesting that, I mean, you bring up like a more negative side of like camaraderie. I mean, you're right. Music it should be collaborative. I mean, maybe you don't want to speak specifically, but can you talk about maybe an instance where you notice like you mentioned, yeah, I mean, like you're having to compete with people at Milliken. Is there a time
Name
when you just
names.
kind of, yeah, who's on your list?
Who?
No, don't name names.
It's not like a list, right? I have no bad feelings towards anybody that I was, working with at Milliken, I have no bad feelings. Both my parents went to that school. My sister went to that school.
That's right.
Yeah. So like, I don't have any malice towards the school necessarily. I just don't think it fosters growth of like talented, like songwriters, to be entirely honest. I think it's really good for jazz and music theater, music ed, maybe some production stuff. I don't think it's super modern necessarily, with a lot of like capabilities. I just think it looks down on like the modern music world. And I kind of realized early on that it's like, while I'm in there, talking about all this stuff and doing like, there's people out there doing it, like as we're sitting in that classroom. And I think that motivated me. I constantly was doing music homework, and I was burnt out, so I couldn't focus on my own music. That was kind of like what really drove me away.
Yeah, there really was nothing for like singer-songwriter kind of stuff. It was all more like clinical, like
which is super
pedagogical stuff. Which is helpful for people like me, but my interest. But I totally get that.
Yeah, but like everybody was so talented, just especially our class. Like I felt like our class had a lot of talent. Like let me think here, like Hannah Lieb, Nick Gain.
Name names.
No, they're just all so talented.
I think we're more curious in the ones that weren't. Is there someone that you're like, oh, there's no way they made it?
Yeah, that was like forever ago. That was like 6 years, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I mean, you mentioned, I do agree that Milliken was more founded in like a traditional classical sense. So I totally understand your feelings for that. Do you remember, what was writing your first song like? Do you have it somewhere? And how have you grown since then in songwriting?
Yeah, man. First song, I don't remember the first song I ever wrote, but it was probably complete shit, to be honest. I remember I think everybody like that's in music or even in sports or anything that's interest based, they have like that one moment that they think back on. I kind of have two. One's funny and another one's not, so I guess I can tell both. The first one was just the first time I picked up a guitar. It just felt like the most natural thing I could have ever done. Like it felt like breathing, and I couldn't even play the damn thing. I just like picked up my friend's acoustic guitar out of tune, and I'm like, oh dude, I'm like writing a song. It felt so cool. And then like
not surprisingly, I heard you were also like on an oxygen tank, so breathing wasn't really that natural to you yet.
No, I started late, man.
Sorry.
Is there any basis for that response? I mean, where the hell did that come from?
What a stupid thing to say, Nick. Put it back on mute.
Yeah, there's an abundance of Nick tonight, and I'm not having it. So yeah, so go on. So you picked up an out of tune guitar, and I really do want to ask you more about that. So that's the funny moment you said. So what was?
No, that's like the sappy moment.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I just remember I got like my first thing I wanted was like a guitar. So for my birthday, I got a guitar, and I would just, because I was an athlete and like that was what my whole life was, and I didn't have anything else. I pretty much like lived and breathed football and basketball. So like the guitar was like for myself. So I just lock myself in my room or like in the basement and just jam shitty songs for hours. Like my mom would have to like put me to bed, like I wouldn't be able to like, it would be like kids like staying up and want to play video games. That was me like playing guitar. I think a lot of people that play guitar like have that moment, and I always try to like think back to that because it like makes me realize how much I love music even in the times I don't. That's like the sappy moment. funny moment was when I found out I could sing, because I didn't know I could sing at all until I was like in 8th grade. And there was this girl I liked in the choir, and I had like a free study hall, so I joined choir just because I liked this girl. And I'm from a small town, and there's not a lot of people in choir, let alone a lot of guys. So like she like made me sing, and I like gave it a shot, you know. And then she took me after class, and she's like, "Oh, I think you have a really good voice. Like, I want you to do this solo and ensemble thing." And I'm like, "I don't know." Okay. So then I remember I did the solo and ensemble thing, and I remember like texting my parents the day of and being like, "Hey, I'm like singing at the school," and they're like, "What? You're like singing? Like, since when have you done that?" I'm like, "I don't know. It's a new thing. Come down and check it out." So I sang, and actually like I don't know what the award was called. I think it was like best of day or something. I don't know, but I won that award, and then being in a small town, when they find out you can sing, they don't let you stop singing. So I just like kept singing until I guess now. So that's like the funny story that, yeah, and that girl ended up cheating on me, and
Hilarious, man.
little bitch.
No, that sucks, dude.
It's funny, but yeah, that's how I started singing.
That's awesome, man. I mean, I totally relate because I am from a really small town. Like, I mean, my school was consolidated. Like, they were so small. They're like, we should just get together. And yeah, I mean, once you kind of get into the music thing, it just becomes a part of you. And I mean, yeah, the fact that 8th grade, I mean, it's not super late. I feel like a lot of people discover some kind of musical talent around that. How old were you when you picked up that guitar then?
I think I would have been like 12, 13.
Okay.
I think it's not so late for people that like, you know, pick it up as a hobby or something, but to go to school for it, like, dude, I didn't know how to read music when I went to Millikan, man. Like, I didn't know shit. And I was like competing with people that like pretty much started playing it out of the womb. So I remember in my audition at Millikan, I like sang the 2 songs or whatever. Like, oh, that was really good. And then they're like, all right, can you do this other stuff? I'm like, wait, there's more. And then they're like, can you sight read this thing? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. And I just tried. It was probably horrible. And then they're like, okay, what's your instrument? And I'm like, I mean, I kind of play guitar. And they're like, can you sight read this piece of music? I'm like, hell no.
Yeah, it's like a foreign. It's like, yeah, it's a foreign language at that point.
Hilarious, dude. Just thinking back at that, like, hilarious that I did, to be honest.
Right. Well, I mean, you did, and I think it's great that you found out that, you know, it wasn't really for you and you just kind of went on your own path. And I'm sure by now you've realized, like, maybe, I mean, you've probably worked with a ton of musicians that they probably don't really know how to read music either. I mean, they maybe have, you know, a sense of, you know, quarter notes and whatever, but at the end of the day, it's more about what you're hearing and just the familiar, you know, aspects of the guitar that you know, right?
I mean, I think it's kind of split because I definitely know how to read music now. You know, I think that like that's some of the meat and potatoes. I think that like people always, it kind of angers me when people say that like the most talented musicians can't read music, because I think that they're completely like isolating themselves. I think there's a happy medium. I think that maybe there's like a point of where you're like so into music theory that you forget the essence of like songwriting and like connecting with your audience maybe. So like I think there's a total happy balance between the two. But yeah, I mean, let's see, in our band only one of us doesn't read music, and that's my little brother, and he's incredibly talented. He can play pretty much every instrument. But everybody else, I mean, our keyboardist, he went to Yale for music theory, so like he's like the man. But everybody else is pretty well versed. Like if you put sheet music in front of me, it'd take me a little bit, but I'd be able to figure it out, you know. It's just not common, you know. It's just chord sheets, chord charts in a studio setting, things like that.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to talk about that. I mean, you say like you've got your little brother. What does he do in the like? What is this band? I mean, I've been listening to some of your music, and I've seen you guys have been around for quite a while. And you say you live together, which I'm sure is super beneficial when you're trying to write or do whatever. So how did you guys meet, and what does everyone do?
Yeah, man. So there are 4 original members. We've got a 5th member that kind of added on, and then we have our producer, and we kind of consider him a 6th member because he kind of has a lot of pull in the band, and he's kind of grown with the band, and he lives with us too. So I guess I can talk. You said you just want me to like talk about how we started.
Yeah, sure.
Well, we started as my backing band actually. I was signed to a label way back when, called Invengo Records, just doing some gigs. Pretty much told me all my hopes and dreams would come true, and then they dropped me and blah 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 blah. Long story short, started playing some shows around Champaign, and I needed a band. Particularly for one big show, I was scheduled to open for Joywave, and I needed some guys to like back me up. And I had kind of like a rotating group of musicians that played with me, but a bunch of them graduated or moved on with their lives and whatnot. So I was looking to like fill that up. And Henry, my little brother, he's been playing with me forever. We were in a high school band. He missed high school to fly down and play South by Southwest with me. Like the kid's a rock star, dude. So yeah, we've known each other since he was born. Nate, our guitarist, I actually met him when I was teaching lessons at Guitar Center, and we just jammed at Guitar Center, and we're like, hey man, like, let's get together and hang out and jam and stuff. And he's like, oh, cool. He gave me his number, and then we didn't hang out for like a year. And then one random day he hit me up and we started jamming. So that was how he started in Zorilla. And then, well, as like my backing band. And then we needed a drummer, and our drummer, Anthony, he was the center snare on the Marching Illini. And he was actually in competitive drum corps, like one of the top drum corps in the world called the Cavaliers. He was center snare for them. So we just kind of recruited him. He actually taught Henry drum lessons. So Henry asked him, hey man, like, you want to be our drummer? And so then we started gigging around, and the music was so dope that I was like, screw my solo shit, man. Like, I want to focus on this because this is real. And yeah, we started writing music, and I took 2 years off my solo stuff, and I just started doing it again this year. But yeah, man, it's been a really cool story. And Dave, our keyboardist, we just met him up in Chicago. We've always kind of wanted that element. He plays keys and violin for us. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, I want to ask, when you were in Champaign, how this rotating, crew of guys, how do you meet these people, and how do you convince them, like, you should totally be playing for me? Because I feel like that's an awkward conversation. Like, you should play for me, Is that how you feel about that or not?
It's kind of like, if you build it, they will come, like, first off, dudes want to play, man. Like, that's what it's all about. And if you can give them money, they'll come. So if you can book steady shows, pull, people to our shows, typically like sorority girls, things like that, like guys will salivate at the teeth, if you will, to like come play. So, I mean, the gig kind of sells it, but to be honest, people just like gel. It's kind of just like a connected thing. Once you meet somebody else. You just kind of have to say yes to everything until you like build up a network of people. And now I have this, and honestly, like, I thank Milliken a lot to that, because it taught me a lot of the skills of that. But then when you kind of take that and you go into a different realm, you learn how to network with people, and you learn how people work and what people like to do. So now I have this wonderful network of talented individuals, and I'm continually expanding that. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that and a little bit of judgment, and like being like, oh, this guy has chops, or this guy wouldn't really fit. So I've been very fortunate to meet some talented people in my life. So yeah, I think it's just like, if you gel, you gel.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you met a ton of people, and now you're established, and you're doing awesome things. I noticed you guys released a couple singles just recently, right?
We just released a song, Wayside. We released Sydney. That was our first album, and we actually released that with a label called Electric Train Records up here in Chicago. COVID, we had like a tour planned, festivals planned, all of the ins and outs, and then that just got axed, And then we took some time to ourselves. We're writing some great music, so we're fully independent now. We just released our first single, Wayside. We're coming out with another single this month called Promenade. And we just shot a music video for Wayside that's super dope. And it's about like positive, like mental health and stuff, which I think is super prevalent right now. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got that up here. This is Zorilla's new single, Wayside. Let's just take a little listen.
stand with the person I see, even if there's no light. Who knows how the story ends?
So on this new single, it says you're alternative, and this is something I thought was interesting. You're alternative, but on your first album, it says you're indie rock. What is the difference, and how did you guys say, like, you know what, let's do this and let's be that, or does it really matter?
I think that
Teach
like
Kmac the difference, please.
honestly, like I don't really know why it says alternative because I feel like that one is kind of alternative actually. I don't know. I always thought alternative was just kind of like a deviation from the status quo a little bit within a genre. When I hear like alternative rock now, I kind of think that it has like some more electronic components or it has like unique components to it. For instance, the end of that song is a beast and has like a whole string section and stuff. And it's kind of like in the Kings of Leon realm, I think. I don't know, honestly. I don't really know. The answer is nobody knows, man.
Well, that's what I think too. It's like, I feel like when they say alternative, I feel like when alternative started, you kind of knew exactly what alternative bands were like. But now it's like maybe, I don't know, in the 90s, alternative really kind of started. But now if you don't really fit a genre, you're like, nah, we're alternative. But you still, as a band, have a sound.
Yeah, I think we've kind of got three sounds. We've got this indie rock. I think you played another song. That was the name of the song that was playing in the beginning of the show. That one's kind of more like the Strokes, indie rock, kind of like summery stuff. And then we've got this like ambient, like ethereal stuff that we kind of consider alternative. And then we've got like a little bit of heavier stuff that kind of vibes with a lot of like the European rock bands now. Like Nothing But Thieves or like Catfish and the Bottlemen, bands like that. So I think we've kind of got like this cool trinity of sounds going on.
Yeah. I'm gonna play the end of Wayside right now because you mentioned there's that little bit at the end. You said there's a string section at the end of this?
We're gonna get copyright flagged for this.
I think it's before that. It's way before.
Oh, is it? Oh, here it is.
Like there's a big string thing before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's fun. Like,
Okay, yeah. No, but I mean, I'm excited to listen to that more. And are you planning on releasing a full album, or is it just kind of a single thing? Because I'm always curious with newer bands. I know you kind of have to put out the best stuff and catch people's ear right away, but is there that full length coming?
so we produce everything ourselves. We don't go to like a full studio and like do the thing. Like we have our own studio space in Champaign, and everything we make in the band, we reinvest back into the band, buy mics, buy stuff. So we don't actually go to like professional studios to get this stuff. It's pretty much from our hearts to you. So to answer your question, with that being said, since we're completely responsible for our own deadlines and stuff, we don't know. We are hoping we can release an album this year because we have such great material, but it really just comes down to like schedules. We just recorded 3 more tracks, at least laid the meat and potatoes down, and we have 2 more that are like kind of in the full mixing stage. So long story short, a lot of music coming, but I cannot confirm a full length album. But there will be one. I just don't know if it'll be this year. Kind of like you don't release anything like after Thanksgiving because you get into like the Christmas shit. So we're kind of on a bit of a tight crunch for that.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I mean, you mentioned this a bit with, you know, the potential tour dates and the festivals with COVID. How has that affected you guys as a band? Not even like with playing live, but maybe just recording or writing material. Has it inspired you now that you've been stuck inside, or how has that affected you guys?
I think, well, it's been nice that we all live together. Except for Dave. Dave's a little bit older than us. He actually just had a kid, so that's nice. But COVID affecting us, I would say like personally, you can't get too upset about it because everybody's going through the same thing. And like, why would I bitch if everybody else is, you know, it's not like we're missing out on an opportunity and another band out there is killing it. You know, there's the whole TikTok thing, and that's been kind of something we've explored. and we're like looking to go more into that. And I think a lot of bands have benefited from TikTok and like being in seclusion because we're such a live band, dude. Like everything we've ever done has been based on our like live performance, like every opportunity and stuff. And since that was taken from us, that hit us really hard. Whereas a lot of these bedroom pop artists and kind of like these lo-fi bands, they do really well in this time because that's like that's like their identity is, you know, recording music and putting it out really fast. So it's been an adjustment for us for sure. We've had to transition from being like a live band to being like a recording artist fully, which has been a learning process. So I also find with like our songwriting, our stuff has been very reflective lately. It's been very, you know, being comfortable with who you are as a person. And I think a lot of people have been forced to look in the mirror really hard during this time because they're stuck in isolation with just themselves or, you know, a couple people. So I think we've been bringing some light to some really important issues with people. And I hope that the songs like resonate with people because I don't know, I think that it's a strong message.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's awesome that I'm sure you guys have matured a lot in that way. And when it comes to songwriting, I mean, who is in charge? Is there a leader that says, guys, I've got this song, this is what it sounds like, and then you kind of fill in, or does it come from all different places?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we get this asked a lot, and I think our answer is kind of unique. Everybody in our band has a firm understanding of their role, and I think that's super important. When you have like contrasting personalities, that's a recipe for disaster. You look at any band that's, you know, you look at Guns N' Roses, you know, like Axl Rose was a freaking nightmare. But our band, we have a really good understanding of our strong suits and we emphasize those. So I'm the primary lyricist and I guess songwriter, myself and Henry. We write the lyrics, the melodies, and usually like the bass chords. But our guitarist, Nate, he sometimes just comes up with a really dope riff and I write to that riff and I use the root chords and, you know, I kind of take it to the next level. But really, typically, like, let's say Henry and I write a song, we present it to the band and it becomes a completely different song by the end because I think that Nate and Anthony actually completely Zorillify the song. So it's a super collaborative effort. And it's my favorite part of being in this band is how talented they all are. You know, it's really refreshing.
Yeah, I noticed you used the term Zorillify. Is that like a patented term for making a song?
I don't know. It could be now, I guess.
I mean, heck, I will. This is the first use on the Kmac Attack, so we'll be sure to coin that. I do want to play a song like the one I played at the beginning, a little bit more of that, because I from what I heard on that first album, this is one I really like. And I guess if you want to talk about maybe when you wrote this song or sort of this material versus where you are now, how that's changed, or maybe the process is different or stuff like that. So here we go, a little bit of that. This is another song from Sydney.
Blackout drunk and I had to hold your hair back while you threw your guts out. Why do we always have to do this? It doesn't have to be this way. Why do we always have to go through this?
I like the
Not again, not
ska vibe.
today. Why can't
Say again.
Kind of ska, you know. Would you agree, Stu? Maybe I'm.
Would you say that's ska, Stu?
I feel like there's definitely some elements in there. I've never heard that
Yeah.
before. That's interesting.
Hey, Matt, can you
I don't know.
describe ska for us?
For the audience at home, please.
Yeah, for the audience. No.
Oh man, I honestly I don't even know where to begin. All I know is like sometimes there's a band with a saxophone. Like that's what I know about ska. But I do. You mentioned earlier, Stu, that it has like the Strokes kind of elements there, and I totally get that with like the drum beat and stuff. And I that kind of that latched me to it because I do like a lot of their stuff, so I definitely noticed that. But how have you noticed the process from writing that to stuff now?
Totally, yeah. I feel like that song also has like the yin and yang of like the Strokes guitar, where it has that like bouncy thing. So I think that also might be a reason why it sounds like that. But yeah, like that song is a funny song. That song's about me having to take care of my girlfriend at the time when she was too drunk. And it's about like significant others taking care of their significant, or people taking care of their significant others because they're too drunk at like parties and shit. So it's like a lighthearted, fun song to play live. And we actually played it on live television, which is hilarious. I said, throw your guts up and like pull your hair back, like on like live television, which is hilarious. But yeah, I would say, I don't know. I feel like we've just matured as people, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because we just wrote another song called "Did You Just Assume My Genre," and like, it's a hilarious like song about just honestly has nothing to do with that. It's just like a funny idea, and I think that we kind of like enjoy writing some funny stuff along with and not taking ourselves too seriously. But I would say the new stuff is a little more ethereal, I guess would be a good way to put it, and reflect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you mentioned, yeah, mature and more reflective, you'd probably say. Now, something, and I'm really interested in this, and I mean, I could talk to you about this all day because, you know, being in a band, writing songs, just doing that thing is what I've always wanted to do. But I'm sure, and you and Ben were talking about this a little bit, there's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through, a lot of bull crap, probably a lot of risk. And I don't know what you do if you know, have like a steady job on the side or what the guys do on the side to like kind of make sure that you've got something there in case, you know, COVID hits or you just don't have any gigs for a while or whatever the case might be. But I'm super interested in that. So, I mean, for someone, you know, like me or anyone that wants to be in a band, how would you kind of summarize the best way to go about that and be successful?
That's a really good question. And I get asked in interviews all the time, like, what's the hardest part about writing a song or like being in band and things like that? And it's never the performance or never like anything to do with that. It's always, how do I support myself while chasing my dream? What is a feasible way? And there's not a right answer to that, unfortunately, because it's something, I know Kyle and I were talking about this too. You know, it's like, what do you do as a day gig to like support yourself and keep the lights on, and still chase this dream and still, I guess, like fulfill your life romantically and financially and blah, 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 blah. So I think first off, setting your goals and being realistic with them and realistic with yourself. Like, where do you want to, what do you want to do? And if your answer is, I want to be famous, you're wrong. Cause that was my answer. And I was so freaking wrong, dude. Like, I was so shallow when I started. I was just like a dude that could play guitar and like doing it. And I'm like, oh, I just, you know, I want to be famous and stuff. And that's what I was chasing, but that was just so wrong. And I think that like being realistic with your goals, like, and putting down numbers, like, you know, how many gigs do I want to play a year? And how much do I think I'm worth? And like, what kind of music do I want to play? And where do I want to play it? And what am I willing to sacrifice to make that work? Like, I've had to sacrifice relationships, jobs. To answer your question, I do have a full-time job. I work in marketing, and I do a lot of freelance work. I've worked every job under the sun: Uber driver, bartender, catering, cook. I've done like freelance copywriting, like literally hardware store, Guitar Center instructor, like literally everything, dude. And it's a struggle. You know, I'm working at Starbucks and serving. I remember distinctively, I played a show for like 600 people. It was awesome. One of my favorite shows I've ever played. And the next morning at 7 a.m, I was in a kitchen chopping potatoes. And they're like bossing me around. I'm like, you don't even know, man. Like, last night I was a fucking rock star, man. And now I'm chopping potatoes, you know?
That's funny.
Yeah. It's hard, dude. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. And it's a romantic journey, but it's not always fun. And like, honestly, it's rarely fun. It's caused so many issues in my life, and there's only so many hours in the day, and you have this like love-hate relationship with music from it. You know, just like being completely real, it's not all fun. It's hard. Ben and I were talking about this too. It's hard to make ends meet doing this, especially in like the free market. You're near an education, you can still get that fixed, but it definitely is like at a cap, you know. So I would say my advice would be to set your goals. Surround yourself with people with like-minded goals, because that's really important. Don't sacrifice on that, because if you get a guitarist that is just there sometimes and isn't like fully invested, then you're not going to be successful. Get people that are in it for the music and not in it for themselves. um, and work your freaking tail off and be prepared to, and also be prepared to like invest a shit ton of money. Music videos are thousands of dollars. Playlist promotions are thousands of dollars. Like, all of this stuff costs money. That's honestly the end of the thing. It sucks because you don't make any money from music, but you have to put so much money into it to be successful, unless you just get stupid lucky. So yeah, like, that's a long answer, and I can elaborate more, but like, that truly is like the brutal reality of it, especially now when you can't play shows. Like,
Oh, I'm sure. No, I mean, I think that you summed it up really well. I think, you hit on a lot of points that, I think, me personally, it's refreshing to hear, but at the same time, uh, it's not like, it doesn't seem out of reach. It just seems like you said, you've worked, 10 plus jobs, that that part isn't steady, but you've found this band, you found these guys, and that's steady, and that's enough for you to say this is worth it.
yeah, and like, also, don't believe everything you see on the internet and from the past. You can completely have a full-time job and be a professional musician. Just because you have a full-time job does not mean you won't get a million streams on Spotify. In fact, that'll increase your chances of gaining those fans. My plan personally is to support myself, get my music, and invest in my music. And once my music reaches a level of investment that I see a return on it, that's when I'll pursue it as a full-time job. It is a full-time job right now because I don't have kids or a girlfriend, or all I have is two geckos, man. Like, so like, I can pursue.
Living large.
I don't have a lot of, I guess, responsibilities excluding like my job, so I can focus fully on my music. But a lot of people, that's not the case. So, like, if you work a 9 to 5 or a 7:30 to 5, right when you get off work, it's time to close this laptop and pull out another laptop and start working on your music, relentless. So.
Yeah, I mean, I bet. Yeah, I mean, if that's, the routine, I mean, as long as I think if you get into a routine, you've probably been okay. Like, this is what I do during the day, this is what I do at night. But I'm sure changing jobs or something would probably be pretty tough.
Well, I mean, routines and musicians and artists are never really like a super common thing. It's, we're a little more ADHD and sporadic with things, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah, I just mean like you have your full-time job and then when your music kind of takes place, but when that happens, yeah, it could be anything.
Totally. And like, you might get an opportunity and you're like, shit, I have obligations, so I can't go do that. And that's a risk. Excuse me, that's a risk you take, But it's definitely, that's like the biggest thing I want to get across to people, is that like, you can have a job that has nothing to do with music and still pursue music professionally, like fully professionally. And like, I know a lot of people don't think that's possible. It is totally possible. In fact, it's the norm now, because you'd be surprised how many like full-time musicians, like professional people that have millions of streams, millions of fans, have full-time jobs. Like, it's actually mind-boggling how many do. Because there's no money in music, man. Like, if you're in music for money, you are not gonna be happy at all.
I mean, yeah, I don't need to elaborate, but like, financially, where are you at? Do you feel like you've lost a lot of money? Do you think at night you're like, man, I wish I could, I wish I just took a
Bank
full-time
account.
job and.
We already asked for your weight. What's your bank account?
I mean, I have a full-time gig now, like salary, benefits, everything, like, and it supports me for my music career. And a couple of the other guys in our band are the same way. Another guy, Henry's a student, so he's a little bit younger, but man, like, yeah, I'm fully fine, like, financially, because it's taken a long time to figure this out. And that's what if I were to like tell myself 10 years ago or like 5 years ago, hey, like, because I stressed the shit out of this, dude. Like, oh, I can't have a full-time job. I have to live like the hard life. I have to sleep in bathtubs and floors and shit, and like eat like crap. And that's not the case, man. Like, I did that. You don't have to do that. It sucks. I did it all, and I still doing it, but like, you can totally do that and have a full-time job. Like, yeah. And I would, in terms of answering your question, it's a money hole, dude. Like music videos, a good music video probably costs around $2,000, you know, unless you know somebody, you can cut corners. And production costs, if you go to a studio and you rent it for a day, like just that alone is like $100 an hour. And that's not even including mixing and engineering. And like everybody has their hand out. Not to mention when you actually get your song done and you're with a label, they take a cut, and then your manager takes a cut, and then there's 6 people in the band, and all the money goes back into the music so you can go fix the speaker you broke at last night's gig. So it's like my solo stuff, I've seen some money. I got a sync license deal in Canada one time, and it was like played before like the Star Wars movies and stuff. And I saw a good chunk of change, a couple $1,000 from that. And that was cool. You know, you get placed on like a Macy's commercial or something, like then you see some money, and that's cool. But like, that's like a pipe dream, you know, you have to know somebody. So, yeah, man, like it's the only market where like 1% own 99% of the wealth. And I think that's like super telling in the music industry.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, yeah, you've been through it all, but what you guys are doing now, the music you're releasing, I mean, I'm really hoping for you that it starts to take off, that you're not, I mean, it just sounds like the money is like, it's here and then it comes around and then you see it for a second and then it's back around. Like you never actually get to appreciate it before it just goes right back out into the music you're doing or the equipment or something like that.
Yeah, but that's not what it's about, you know? Like,
right.
Like at the end of the day, I love making cool shit. Like that's it. Like I love the fact that every song we write is immortal and it lives on and it tells a story and it's a reflection. When I die, when anybody dies, that song will still be there, man. And like I think that's really cool. And I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the memories and really good music. And I'm going to take it as far as I can, you know, realistically. I think that our band is kick ass though, and we have all the tools to be a next big hit. But you know, it's just luck, timing, and effort.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, I wish you the best. Hopefully, are you planning on playing out with COVID not really going away, but vaccines? And what's the future look like?
Yeah, man, we're starting to book some shows. We just booked a wedding in September. I just booked a solo gig in May. And we're starting to do like, we want to do these backyard shows in Chicago, like in the residential areas. And we also are getting our busking license, and we're going to go to the lake and like play some like lakeside stuff. So like, we're kind of just bringing our music to people, but we're kind of really focusing on our recording and like putting out some content, because we really haven't put out any video stuff. We've been kind of in the dark in that area. So that's kind of like what our main priority is, but we're hoping to play shows this summer.
Okay. Yeah, man. I hope so too. That'd be awesome to see you out there. And I mean, cause yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what it's really all about, you know, sharing the music and just giving it to other people, regardless of how much money you make or whatever. So it's been awesome to talk to you, dude. I mean, it's really exciting to hear what you've been doing, to kind of get a glimpse of, how the process works, because I've always been interested in that. And I mean, we're all, you know, musical guys here, but I don't personally really know a ton of guys that are in a full-time band like that. So I really appreciate you sharing a lot of that stuff.
Of course, man. Y'all are super talented, by the way. All these guys are. I remember it back in the day. Ben had more hair then, but
not much.
And Kyle had less.
Right.
Much less.
And Nick and KJ haven't changed. So
yeah, Nick, you look the same, dude.
Oh, thank goodness. So I didn't gain weight. Woo!
Maybe time to switch up the haircut or something. Let's freshen things up.
I totally did. I went from a harder part to a softer part.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you didn't notice, Stu? Come on.
Yeah,
Man.
you know.
Yeah. Well, before you go, man, yeah, I mean, thank you again. So much we learned. I mean, there's still so much I could talk about. I don't want to keep you here all night. But I'd love to have you on again and talk more about this stuff. I mean, did you have fun tonight? How you feeling, man?
No, it was a whole time.
How many? Yeah.
So No, it was cool, man. It was fun catching up with you guys. I haven't talked to you guys in forever, so it's fun catching up. I'm glad you guys are still doing something creative and having fun together, because that'd be a shame. You're all talented and stuff, and I like that we all kind of have a similar, at least us three do, with the lights. Nick, you need to start getting some colored lights in there, man. And
well, it's kind of a problem. All my stuff is for my makeup tutorials, so like I can't have colored stuff.
Fair, nice.
He's got priorities.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, Stu, we love to play games, so I do have a quick trivia game for you if you don't mind sticking around.
Oh God.
How you feeling? How well do you do on trivia?
Pretty drunk right now.
Pretty good.
Confident.
Perfect time to play. All right. Well, I've got a couple, about 5 questions for you, and I'm gonna have Ben play too. So we're gonna kick him out.
Okay.
So this would be pretty dicey. Okay, he's in the waiting room. These are all questions related just to recording studios, because you've maybe you haven't really been in them personally a lot lately due to the expense. You've been producing your own stuff, which I think is really cool, and I'm sure has been super helpful. But I just want to see, kind of how much comparison to Ben, because he was in the studio a lot at Milliken, and just kind of want to see where you're at. All right, so here we go. There's 5 questions. There's no multiple choice. You just got to give me your answer. All right. And we're going to see just how long it takes you two, depending on how well you two do together. All right. All right, here we go. First question. The clock will start after I read the first question. All right, so you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First question. What famous Tennessee studio was created by Sam Phillips in 1950?
Sun Studio?
Okay, that studio is home to one of the most famous musical groups in history that included Elvis Presley. What was their name?
What, the name of the studio?
The name of the group.
Oh. Beatles? I don't know. Blackbird Studio, right? Blackbird?
Tennessee Beatles.
Thomas Edison invented the phonograph in what decade of the 1800s? Bonus if you get the decade and the exact year.
God. You said it was in the 1800s?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 1857. I don't know.
Okay. What is the recording technique in which
Not
a sound or
56.
message is recorded backwards meant to be played forward?
Say that one more time.
What is the recording technique in which a sound or message is recorded backwards meant to be played forward?
Meant to be played forward. I literally don't know.
Okay. And finally, what is the term used for transforming imprecision when performing that eliminates imprecision?
Bro, I'm a singer. What do you want from me?
Wait, what was that? What was that?
What is the term used for transforming imprecision when performing that eliminates imprecision?
Transient.
But it's a little
Transient.
checkbox in Logic.
Yeah, in Logic, there's a checkbox.
Oh.
Say again.
Transient thing where like at flex time it like moves. I can't read lips, by the way.
Okay, okay, that's time.
Okay,
Okay,
you're
I
right.
guess I overestimated how much time you've been in the studio.
Like that's like
Yikes.
Yeah, so you've totally been in the studio for about a year. So, when was sound recorded? When did Madison do it? Tell me everything you know about sound. How much do you weigh? How much do you record? Oh, you're not a real artist.
I'm the talent, dude. I'm not.
He's the singer.
Okay, well, I guess I
Ben better
I-
get you right though.
I made the questions and then I took the interview, so I guess we'll try it again next interview. Okay, we'll just go over these questions really quick.
Wait, I just let Ben in.
Just wait till Ben comes in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do it after.
We don't need to be told twice.
Ben, I got them all right, dude. So
Yeah.
He
Oh,
nailed it,
jeez.
dude.
I don't even know what the topic is. So, we'll
Okay,
see.
yeah. This is a Zorilla band history, so
Okay. I feel confident.
And Stu talked about everything in the interview, so hopefully you're paying attention.
I hope he took notes.
What is the keyboardist's name and how old is he?
Nick Sanders.
Okay, no, this is I've got 5 questions for you that relate to studio recording. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna test your knowledge here. Stu,
Okay.
I'll give you his total answers and the amount of time it took to get them. But we're gonna start the clock after the first question. Ben, are you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. That's the right time. What famous Tennessee studio was created by Sam Phillips in 1950?
Sun Studios.
That studio is home to one of the most famous musical groups in history that included Elvis Presley. What was their name? The group.
Oh, pass.
Thomas Edison invented the phonograph in what decade in the 1800s? Bonus if you get the decade and the year.
1852.
What is the recording technique in which a sound or message is recorded backwards meant to be played forwards?
Satanism.
What is the term used for transforming imprecision when performing that eliminates the imprecision?
What the hell did you just say to me?
What
Literally
is the
what everybody
term-
else said.
What is the term used for transforming imprecision when performing that eliminates imprecision?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a
Compression?
checkbox on logic.
It's a
little
checkbox on
you
logic.
can click.
Compression. I don't know.
Okay, that's time. Oh man.
Enticing.
That
That was good.
That made
Okay,
no
Monetize.
sense.
I thought you said who recorded at Sun Studios, like alongside, not in the band with Elvis. I didn't. I
The Beatles.
thought the Beatles recorded at Sun Studios at some point, but somebody just texted me. And I know the answer to that now.
That's funny. Yeah, okay, we got some good answers on this one. This was a great trivia. Okay, both of you got Sun Studios. That was created by Sam Phillips. The famous group that included Elvis, also Johnny
Beatles.
Cash, Carl Perkins.
$1 Million Quartet.
Yeah, the $1 Million Quartet is what I was looking for. Thomas Edison invented the phonograph in 1878. Both of you said the 50s, 1857 and 1852. I thought that was interesting. The recording
1856.
technique.
No 1856 though.
Yeah, no, 1856.
When okay, the recording technique in which a sound or message is recorded backwards. You guys know that
Twin
one?
Peaks. It's Twin Peaks. It's the whole
Doesn't make any
TV.
sense.
Oh my gosh. Am I the only one? I am the only
Yes.
Yes, you're the
one. Someone out there.
It's backmasking.
Oh,
Something
obviously.
Okay,
Should have
now
fucking known.
the best
I
question
should
of the
have
night.
fucking known.
Mega doo-doo.
The term used for transforming imprecision when performing that eliminates imprecision is what, Nick?
Quantizing.
Quantizing. Love how the keyboard players know what that is.
That all the time. I didn't.
Quantizing.
Does the question make sense?
I'm just kind
No.
of like, yeah, well, I said Melodyne. You know,
You said transient.
and flex time or something, but yeah.
Melodyne, which is quantizing. But
said backmasking. We're like, oh shoot, one question too late. Oh man.
Well, you both tied Sun Studios.
Hey,
For last
Congrats.
Yeah, you both got one question right.
dude, Sun
Nice.
Studios, though.
Oh, that's really funny. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to come up with something better next time. But I guess I don't know, Stu. Maybe you got to know your studio history, man.
Yep. So yeah.
If you don't know when the phonograph was invented, are you a musician? I mean, come on. Everyone
Some
knows
say
that.
no.
What's a phonograph?
Some might say no. Yeah. Well, thanks again, man. It's really good to see you. Wish you the best of luck. I'd love to have you on again. Maybe when you guys, start touring. I know you mentioned earlier you've had how many interviews could you say you've been involved with?
Like ever, or like
Yeah, just as a
I don't know, a
like
lot.
100.
Not that, man. No, maybe like 70. I don't know.
Okay.
Something
Well,
like between there.
right.
Kind of
Well,
a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Well, hopefully,
What do you interview like by a newspaper or something, or like that? Is it, I don't
yeah,
know.
just anything where you're talking about your music.
Probably
Anything where somebody asks you a question. Just anytime
How many questions
someone
have you
How many
asked?
questions have you been
Just
asked?
roughly, just rough estimate.
cool, man.
70.
70 his entire life.
people don't tend to ask me questions unless I'm being interviewed.
Well, I mean, I basically like I hope you make some time for us again, and hopefully, I mean, maybe we can work out a way where we can hear you guys live, or at least get some more of your music on here because I enjoy hearing it and hearing what you're about. So
Thanks for having me. It was fun hanging out with you guys. Ben, too.
yeah, for sure, man. Keep us posted. We'll be throwing up some links to your stuff, and if you have anything you want us to promote, just let us know.
Sure thing, man. Thanks for having me.
Sweet, man.
Hey,
Take
son.
care.
Peace.
Fly
Bye.
off up. And
It's a secret.
yeah,
See y'all.
I know. See you, man. He did abandon the Illinois Delta chapter. Did he join SAE at?
He was,
U
he was
of
in
I?
our pledge class.
No, did he? I know, but did he
Oh.
join at U of I?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
I think
he, like, hung
well,
out
you
with
could have
him.
asked him, but I'm pretty sure he went over there. Just felt it wasn't like his bag.
Yeah.
Like a formal initiation sort of thing. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, it's good to talk to him. Like I said, he and I didn't know each other super well, musically, but I mean, what he's doing is like pretty sweet, and that's honestly like what I've really been considering. But then when he talks about all the jobs he's working and the commitment, and I mean, there's a lot to it that I don't often think of, and I don't know if you guys could relate to a lot of that stuff or what your thoughts were.
I mean, doing something somewhat similar or in the same field of entertainment and live music as a live sound engineer, I mean, I definitely related to that in a way, just the schedule of it where you have to do something. And there were times when I was trying to be a full-time sound engineer where, I was delivering food and I was, just picking up any sound job, short notice, come on out. We need somebody right now, maybe taking less than what you're worth just because you have to pay rent. I can relate to that. Of course, actually getting to play in the show is probably a lot more fun than getting to mix it. So I can see why he stuck with it a little bit longer. But that lifestyle is it's a lot. It's not easy. It's a grind, and it's pretty, thankless work.
Right. Like you're trying to make a living off of sound, essentially, and nobody wants to pay for that.
Exactly.
It's a rough life.
Yeah,
Trying to convince people that you're relevant, and then while also simultaneously trying to stay relevant and like in your own skills as well, and networking with people who also understand that, and like can get you gigs and
what he's doing with original music too, that's
a whole nother
even
program.
harder because it's like, and 9 times out of 10, if a bar wants to hire somebody, they want them to play music that people will know, so that's tough.
Yeah, I forgot to ask him about that, how they kind of got started, if it was just playing a ton of covers, because I mean, that's usually what I hear about is bands, they just play covers and then they kind of, find their sound through that and introduce like, hey, we played all these covers, here's an original, here's more covers, things like that. So, I mean, Nick, I noticed you were agreeing with a lot of what he was saying. I mean, you're on the grind in a way. I mean, you're composing. I mean, is that something you would kind of,
I'm not really making
coincide
much
with,
money off of that. But I am like doing music and stuff so yeah, it's not lucrative. That's why you go for other things at the same time. But I mean, lessons are kind of lucrative if you can get enough lessons for that. So, but yeah, no, I mean, that's something definitely that Olivia's been going on is she's found out that like voiceover is actually, it's like, oh, okay, I can't have a full job and do voiceover stuff. So like that's kind of more of what I was doing is because that's more what she's getting into right now. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think I definitely agree with what he was saying. I mean, if I could go back 10 years, I would definitely tell myself, hey, you don't have to put all your eggs in this basket. It might be worth learning a skill that you can support yourself on and pursue this on the side. Maybe not indefinitely. I mean, if it's your dream, it's your dream. You should do whatever it takes to get there. But um, you know, I think there's something to be said for being financially secure before you start pursuing those dreams. Can make things a lot easier.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he had a ton of good points. I wanted to bring this up with him, but it's funny that he mentioned like he basically got started singing like because of a girl, and he's like, I'll just join the choir, and then it just exploded, which is awesome. And I feel like a lot of, especially in school, obviously, like music, just for whatever reason, it's like, it's not very cool. And then when you realize people are really attracted to that. I mean, people are almost more attracted to that than like athletes, just because there's so many, and that's kind of the stereotypical thing. But when you can sing or play an instrument or something, like that's the ticket. And it's funny that he kind of found that when he joined. And then I just had so many questions, but yeah, it was super good to catch up with him. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's all I got, and it's getting late, so that's gonna wrap it up. But hopefully you enjoyed, guys. Hopefully you're hanging in there, and we'll see you Sunday, tentatively, with a very special guest. Got to work out some details, but I'm excited for Sunday night, and I guess I'll see you guys then. So Sunday night, 98 cents.
City
Gonna make it mine.
so fine.
Just got back to the city.
Got back to the city. Back from the city.
It's the only line Nick knows. Back from the city. You're on your way.
Back from
What
the
city?
city. Back from the city. Back from
I
the
think
city.
you're on to something, Nick.
What
I'll have to include that.
Oh, there's
Which
a
city are we
backstory.
at?
There's a backstory. All right.
We're
That's
still
it.
live.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we still live. All right. Kmac, who's kind of
Not bad.
Oh,
nice.
yeah. Hell yeah.
I messaged her on Instagram, and she's like hard because she commented on and I forgot to promote that too. That like slideshow thing I made. And and you guys have been sharing that, which is cool. But she's like,
Yeah, it was an accident. I accidentally hit the share
Yeah.
button.
She's like, oh, so proud of you.